painful moment. But as a family that prays, as a family that knows God, we have chosen to turn this into a celebration because God gave us a chance to spend Sadala's last moments together as a family. For the close to 6 weeks when he was unwell, we all came together and we spent time together, and we thank God for that. We also thank God because of his family, Miriam, Lekishon, and Neema, because we feel as a family we did all that we could possibly do to have our brother come back. It was not possible. But now we have his family, and we want to commit to Miriam, Lekishon, and Neema that we will take personal responsibility for the three of you. And that is what we are able to do. So we have chosen to thank God for that. We also thank God because our brother, as has been said here, was the most jovial. He was the most friendly. If I was to ask how many people here were Sadala's personal friends, na nikiuliza tu kwa mikono, ni wangapi hapa ambao walikuwa marafiki wa Sadala? Tuoneshe tu kwa mikono, tuinue tu mikono. You can see that right from the front row, the leadership, they are not just here because they are leaders, but because they had a relationship with our brother. Our brother was the kind of person who interacted with everybody. And one of his commonest phrases when he was referring to people was, fulani ni rafiki yangu sana. Even people that he had only met for a short period of time. So we have chosen to celebrate today, in as much as it is a very painful moment. And allow us, and me particularly, to read my tribute to my elder brother. I was finding it hard to have somebody else read it for me because I wouldn't want it to come out in any other way than the way I wrote it myself, because Sadala was my best friend. Thank you all for being here today as we gather to honor and celebrate the life of my beloved brother Sadala. It is both a privilege and a deeply emotional task to share my thoughts about the incredible person my brother was. Today, I mourn the demise of my brother. Sadala wasn't just a sibling, he was my best friend, my childhood companion, and my confidant. From my early days, he was always there for me, guiding me, protecting me, sharing in every adventure and challenge that life brought our way. One of my fondest memories of Sadala is when we tended to Dad's sheep and goats together. I always preferred accompanying him to the fields instead of doing household chores. One other childhood chore that I loved to do was protecting my mom's maize shamba from invasion from monkeys just behind here. One time while at it, we got into a war of words with kids from the neighboring Manyata, and before I knew it, I sensed a gush of blood all over my face. A stone had landed on my head from across the fence. I must have been around 7 or 8 years old. And when my brother heard me crying, without saying a word, I remember my loving brother fly over the fence, chasing my attacker. I have never felt so sorry for a village mate beaten into a pulp. My brother loved, cared, and always protected me. At the very least, I still have the scar on my forehead as a constant reminder of this incident. And I'm told the culprit is actually part of this crowd today. His name is Musana. Geti Musana neweji? Hayo laga jogeti atwa yok. And I remember last December when we had the circumcision ceremony for Lekishon. This is one of the incidences we actually joked about because Musana was around. But we have since forgiven each other between me and Musana, and we are good friends. Sadala and I attended the same schools at primary school level, where he was always looking out for me, ensuring I was orderly. He even supervised my academic performance in school. Never mind that I always did better than him, because my brother loved to play. After primary school, we had a short stint of being apart from each other when we joined high school separately. I think if we had been admitted to mixed schools, we both would have found a way to be in the same space. In light of our solid childhood bond, and of him being my elder brother, he became a constant source of security, assurance, and strength. I confided in him. He protected me and always looked out for me. A relationship which extended into our adult and even working life. When I joined politics in 2012, he assigned himself the role of my personal driver. For 6 years, where he also doubled up as my security detail and even intelligence collector. He was one of my chief campaigners because of his large network of friends. During this time, he also grew so close to my children. And as they have just read here, they have their own story to share of a loving and ever-caring uncle, Sadala. Beyond family, my very loving, cheerful, and jovial brother had very many friends. It is said that in Narok, if you did not know Sadala, then you knew no one. I never saw his demise coming because in his normal routine, he came to visit me in Nairobi in mid-September. Every so often, he would come and stay with us for weeks, up to a month, or even more. Earlier on, before he came to visit, he sent me a text on August 19th to say he had been unwell, and at 8 p.m. on this day of August 19th, this is what he wrote to me. Evening, Waziri, I have not been well, but for now, I'm not badly off. We'll let you know about everything. Thanks for your concern about me. Kanyo Roleng, that is, I love you so much. After which, I asked him when he would be coming to Nairobi, and he said he would come once his son, my nephew Leki, had returned to school. When he came to my home in Nairobi on 13 September, he did not look sick at all. With his signature chit-chat and political banter on the dining table, until I noticed that he wasn't eating. When I asked him why, he dismissively said that he felt bloated and full all the time, upon which we agreed he would go for medical checkup. Thereafter, things moved so fast, and he got hospitalized for over a month. It was devastating and just heart-wrenching to see him deteriorate and get weaker and weaker on each day that went by until his demise on Wednesday, 30th October. My family and I are very grateful to the team of doctors led by Dr. Gadhua, who attended to our dear Sadala. They remained patient with us when we kept pushing them to try and save his life while on critical life support, and even when it was so obvious that he had reached a point of no return, and that we were only clutching onto straws. We are grateful to all our family and friends who have stood and walked with us all through this, our toughest moment. I am eternally grateful and thankful to God for my parents and my siblings. Our standing and moving together is a great source of strength. I only managed to continue working and going to the office because my sister Alice here spent all her time in hospital, and so did Mama. My dear brother, words feel so empty in trying to capture the depth of the loss I feel. You are not just my brother, but my confidant, my guide, and my unwavering support. Your presence brought warmth and strength into every room, and your humor and laughter echoed in my heart, even on the hardest of days. How blessed I was to share life with you, the countless memories, the laughter, the lessons you taught me, and the love you gave so freely. You are a light, illuminating the lives of those fortunate enough to know you, and you carried an enduring kindness that left everyone feeling seen and valued. In your absence, there is a silence that feels endless, a void that words can never fill. Yet I hold lightly to the memories of you, to your wisdom and your dreams, promising to carry them forward as best as I can. I know you are at peace, and I choose to cling to this feeling and fact for comfort in this time of grief. Thank you, my dear brother, for every moment, every smile, and every word of encouragement. These were the words he made to me on 1st of August, just some minutes before I walked into my parliamentary approval hearings for the position of CS Defense. He said, "Waziri, all is well. God finished this a long time ago." That was my big brother, always looking out for me, praying and cheering me on. I will carry you with me always, honoring your spirit and forever cherishing the gift of having you as my brother. Rest peacefully until we meet again, dear friend and loving brother. There is no one like you. We shall miss you dearly. A humble, obedient son of my parents. But since it is the will of God to take you home at this time, I totally and completely surrender to his will. And collectively as a family, we have chosen to do this with gratitude and thankfulness to God. Go in peace, my lovely brother. And don't you forget to do what you have always done, looking out for me. With lots of love, your small sister, Soipan. Thank you.
Asante. Naomba sasa tusimame sote kwa sababu tumeketi kwa muda, tusimame. Tutapewa pambio ama wimbo mmoja tu ili tuingie hotuba zingine. Familia wanaomba ya kwamba kufikia saa 9 mwili ielekezwe pale kaburini. Kwa hivyo tafadhali tutaimba wimbo mmoja tu tufarijike tafadhali.